everybody.
Friends and family.
All right, all
Here
right.
we are today. I'm with my who?
Your daddy. That's for sure. That's me.
Um,
E.C. Morris. Yes, ma'am.
ECM for life.
That's right. All
I'm
day,
named after
every
my
day.
daddy. I have the same initials as my daddy. So
Sure does.
an ECM. I'm also an ECM.
She
How you
was,
doing today, handsome?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. She has my same initials because her name is actually my name, except for her middle name is Karina. But her first name is Elika, which is Hawaiian for Eric.
Yes.
Yeah,
It means noble.
she was purposed to be a girl, but she was supposed to be a boy in my mind. Anyway, but
It's
she's
so
real.
funny too because
I'm
you and
glad I
mommy.
got though, baby. I'm
Oh,
grateful for
I know, daddy. I know,
I,
but
I,
that's
I
funny
couldn't
to me
I
because
couldn't go ahead, baby.
y'all thought I was gonna be, well, not thought I was gonna be a boy, but you had hoped that after
Yeah.
Tara, the firstborn, that I would have been a boy.
And we
So
were
that
two kids.
y'all would have been done. Ooh, that would have been something else too, just the two
Yeah,
of us. But it's something how I came out as a girl. I look exactly like both you and mom.
right.
I
More
bear,
like me when you were younger.
I
Became
did.
more like your mom as you got older. Yeah.
Yeah. But I am so much like you in terms of my personality and
Your deliberation in life. Your
my my
process.
deliberation in life. You're absolutely right. Well, let's welcome the people on in. How
Hey
y'all
guys, good
doing?
to have y'all. Listen, we're glad to have all of you. We thank you for those that like, those of you that follow us. So anyway, let's talk, babe. What are we talking about today?
Yeah, we tossed up a few topics, but I think where we landed was the enemies of our existence.
Mm, interesting.
So I remember growing up as a little girl and hearing the enemy, the enemy to
Mhm.
your purpose, the enemy to your progress, and the enemy doesn't want this for you, and the enemy doesn't want that for you. And I always thought of the enemy as like this little man who, set out traps
The
or set
sabotage.
out the,
Yeah.
yeah, the little red devil with the
Right.
pitchfork when he sits
Right.
on your shoulder.
Right.
The older I've gotten, the more I realize that it's more of an energy. It's dare I say, a vibration that impedes with the purpose that the divine, that the creator has over one's life, right? So if I'm meant to heal, if I'm meant to sing, if I'm meant to um, mother children, the
Whatever.
enemies to those might be a promiscuous lifestyle that lends itself to me having a damaged womb.
Mhm.
Now I can't give birth to children because I've had abortions, or having a spirit of fear that intimidates me and makes it difficult for me to be a singer. Or if I'm meant to heal, finding myself in relationship after relationship that breaks my heart. So I'm not able to live out the virtue of
Right.
my calling.
Mhm.
What say you, Daddy, about hindrances or enemies to purpose?
Well, I've always, my mind works and it works according to scripture. So,
Yes, sir.
and I think scripture is a prescription for everything in life,
Scripture is a prescription.
for everything
Yeah,
in life. And if you
like
take it daily, the Bible says he'll give you health and he'll give you wealth, but you have to take it daily. And the only way I know that I take it is that I face the challenges that keeps me from eating it. There's a concept that I have come up with that hearing is deliberate and not hearing is deliberate. None of it is none of it is unconscious. Because when I don't hear, it's because it's something I don't want to hear.
yes, sir.
And you could judge it by volume. Somebody can say, I've got $1 million for you softly. Or somebody can say, you owe me $1 million loudly. One
Mhm.
you will hear, one, and I think hearing has to do with the advantage of the hearer. Because I want to hear what makes me validate where I am.
Mhm.
Now, if you want better in life, you're going to have to face that because that's the challenge in front of your better.
That's good stuff.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I look at it in terms of this is that the sins of the parents is generational. And I think that if you come from a bad blueprint and you continue to build from that same bad blueprint, you're going to continue to get bad houses. And most of us, especially people of African descent that were part of the Africa diaspora, uh, we have to realize that there is a hereditary thing in our life that has to be broken. And
Yeah.
that's broken families,
Yeah.
and the paradigm of a man, the paradigm of a woman, the role of children, purpose in education, purpose in gifts, purpose in everything that our energy presents to this earth. If that's perverted, the energy is perverted.
Yes, sir.
And your energy is the thing that attracts what you want. Because you don't get what you, yeah, go ahead, correct.
Your energy is the thing that attracts.
What you
Sometimes,
want or you don't want. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. We don't get what we want, we get what we are. That's a very difficult concept, very simple phrase, but a very difficult concept.
Yes, sir.
Especially if you think that life has been unfair. That's what I find to be the most thing that keeps people bound to their worst past, is that they believe at some point in life that the ill behavior, the nasty behavior, the unforgiving behavior is warranted because of what happened to me. And what you keep in your memory bank about what happened to you, it keeps happening to you.
Yeah. What we appreciate appreciates.
There you go. There you go. So I think that in order to do it, you just got to face it. And then you have to face it in the sense that it comes with faces.
The faces that were involved in the occurrences.
No. The faces now that are here to correct.
Oh, right. Because there's always going to be those faces. And if you are stuck in the past and thinking that everything happens to
You won't recognize the face.
Yeah, you'll think
And
you're being attacked. You're being attacked.
You'll think a good woman is a bad woman. You'll think a good man is a bad man. You'll
Yeah.
think a good child is a bad child. Your sense of equity, equilibrium, and balance in life is completely off because your energy is imbalanced. You understand what I'm saying? So your moods are always up and down. So your kids come away and they catch them.
Yeah.
Then they marry someone like their dad who may not have been there.
Yeah.
So it's a continual hereditary thing. So the question is, how do I face it?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you have to, if I could say that, you have to separate yourself from the nonsense and start making sense. There are things that you cannot control. Who you were born to, who your daddy was, who your mom was. To think that you can somehow justify your life by what they did is nonsense. It's nonsensical.
Yes.
So you have to make sense out of the nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? Life is like an egg. You prepare it the way you want it, poached, scrambled, well, easy, sunny side up. It has a variety of ways, to give birth to you.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And this is probably going to be difficult. All an egg is a chicken that didn't make it. And if you treat life like an egg, you'll realize that some of those eggs that's been implanted in your mind, they don't need to make it into chicken hood. They don't need to live.
Hatch. Don't let them hatch.
They need to be fried, fricasseed, sun side up. They need to be something. And you got to, and it's funny and it's very humorous. And I'm glad we can make humor out of it. But it's so true.
It's real.
I mean, we constantly want change, but we don't want to be subject to it.
Right. We don't want to be the ones to change. We want everything, the circumstances around us.
Change around us.
Yeah.
And then rule the circumstances by our moods. No one owes me for my pain. It's already been paid for. And if I keep making people pay for it, what good was his? And did I really receive his? And I'm talking in terms of Christ. If those of you that are listening, I'm talking in terms of Christ. But anyway, that's my take on it, babe.
That is a very strong statement. No one owes me for my pain.
No.
Because I would venture to believe, Daddy, that there are a lot of people who it would be difficult for them to say that with conviction. Because I think we as humans, we carry around a lot of baggage
Indebtedness.
In debt, indebtedness. Yeah. We carry around a lot of what we believe are other folks' debts to us,
Mhm.
which is such a hindrance, an
Mhm.
enemy to our own progression because it's interest paid on something that you'll never acquire. You'll never own what you're putting on someone else. The only thing I can own is me, is what
Right,
I do,
right.
how I think, how I process,
Mhm.
the victory that I pull out of the jaws of defeat.
That's
That's
right.
literally the only thing that I can own.
Mhm.
Um, but when you feel like you've been wronged, especially, the stuff in our childhoods because we didn't have
Mhm.
any choice over that
Right,
stuff,
right.
right? Like those are scenarios that we were born into, like yourself being born
Mhm.
into a broken family situation and losing your mom at 7 and your dad not claiming you until you were 30.
Right.
You didn't have any control over those events,
Mhm.
but for the fact that you made the decision to purpose it, right? Okay, what can I learn from this situation? Do I want to be the same kind of man as my father? Do I
Mhm.
want to set up the same type of home environment as my parents had
Mhm.
to duplicate what happened in my life? Like you looked for the victory in what could easily be seen as a defeat.
Mhm.
But that's not the easy thing to do.
But see, I was, if I might say, I was fortunate because I had a soft place to land. And unfortunately, we may be addressing, or through this, we may be reaching people who don't have that soft place.
Yeah, Papa.
My grandmother and my grandfather, fortunately, was in a position to be able to take us in.
Hmm.
The environment was not the top of the hill, but it was better than where we came from. It
Hmm.
was a much improvement from where we came from, living with our mom. So I said this because you got individuals who are trapped in a circumstance of community that says, I want something different, but my environment requires that I be carrying a gun. I know it's illegal. I know it's right, but this environment forces me. Now, my response to that is
Mm-hmm.
you as an individual have to find something to get you out of the environment. And I use that my situation was trial light and compared to that being trial with all kind of sugar in it. You know what I'm saying? My trial was easy because I realized that if I stayed where I was, and the geographical location had a lot to do with the way I thought,
Yeah.
and it had a lot to do with the energy I could exude. The
Mm-hmm.
place where I was drained all of my energy. So I had to make a change or run out of energy and end up in trouble in jail or end up in another disastrous situation. And if someone's out there and they say, okay, well, I want to change too. You guys are saying good, but Elika was raised in this kind of home, and your dad had this kind of. No, 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 no. Every situation, there is an opportunity to change, but in many situations like that, you have to make a concerted effort to say, listen, I'm going to go live with my cousin in this place, and I'm going to start going to school and getting myself together. And I'm going to separate myself from this kind of life. There is a hope for everybody out there. You just got to reach. You got to reach for the rope of hope.
I love that you brought this up because I never want people to think that we're sitting on any high horses,
Oh no,
sitting on
they
any
don't.
thrones or anything like that. Because it's certainly not that. We have these conversations to shed light and to provide information and to provide hopefully some sense of direction. And so when I talk about like where you came from, yes, it was drastically different from the household that I grew up in.
Mhm.
And I love that you kind of gave both sides to it, right? So as much as yes, you did experience the tragedies of your life, you spoke to the fact that you had a soft place to land.
Yeah,
However, even in that soft place to land, you understood that you couldn't stay there forever.
it
That
drains
for
my
you to
energy.
make different decisions
Yeah,
that looked drastically different from where you came from, you were going to have to move even from that soft softer place because
Right.
ultimately it wasn't what you saw for yourself and it wasn't the kind of life that you wanted to live.
But
So I love that you're,
let me say
yeah,
something right there, then I'll let you finish. It
okay.
was a soft place to land, but not a good place to live. We don't always live where we land.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes we live and God puts us in a place for a soft landing in order to prepare us so that we can prepare a soft landing for somebody else. That's the principle I understood. If we're using that term. So I'm sorry, cutting you off. Go ahead, Banks.
No, that's great. I'm glad that you said that because that's worth highlighting. The soft place that we land in is not always the place that's
That
to be lived in or a
yeah.
soft place to
Like
live.
for example, we were a soft place for you to land as a kid.
And that's what
As,
I'm talking
as
about.
you become an adult, you've had to deal with your own hard places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to learn myself, I had to get off from under you guys. I had to
Mhm,
travel the world. I had to have
mhm,
my own experiences.
mhm,
I had to disappoint y'all a little bit.
mhm.
I
And
had,
you had to,
you
and
know,
we had to own up to our disappointment to you also. Because as parents, we're never perfect.
yeah.
Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's precious, Daddy. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know that we ever had that
I've
particular.
always understood that I was thinking today, I think about a lot of things I did as a parent because I was unable and didn't have the equipment to make the kind of decisions that I can make now because I got a little more wisdom and I've seen a lot more.
Yeah.
And I would do a lot of things differently,
Well, yeah.
though the results are positive, but that has a lot to do with the decisions that you guys made.
Mm,
And thankfully the influence that we had as parents was an addendum to your own desire to please the creator because that came from you guys. But as I said, you look back and you said, well, I wish I had made a better mistake. And the only thing, better decisions, the only thing you can really go by in life is results.
hmm.
Process is you're gonna hurt, you're gonna cry, you're gonna be mad, you're gonna cuss people out, people gonna get you cussed out, you're gonna have some ups and downs, you're gonna want to leave, you're gonna stay, you're gonna want to stay, you're gonna leave. It's gonna be all kind of
All
stuff.
the things.
All of the emotions of life are going that. But the thing is, where you land, where do you want to be when all of this is over and said? And then I think the greatest thing is that you stop looking for landing places when you got somebody that has to land,
You
like a
start looking
child.
for landing places when you have someone that needs
When
to.
you have someone that needs to land, for example, you're not even concerned about you
Oh, yeah, no.
now. Where you are right now would be great for you by yourself. You would be living in luxury, but you got
Lord.
to find a soft place
For
for
my
baby
baby,
girl.
for my girl.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And for me, it was okay. I had my grandmother. Now I got Tyra and my wife.
Hmm.
I got to make sure they got. And then y'all kept coming. You know what I'm saying?
Well, y'all kept doing the things that kept us coming, Dad. It's not like we just a poof
I
of
told your mom I was trying to live holy, but she didn't listen. She just
You've been telling that lie for I don't know how long. You was taking advantage of. Mommy just a little bit older than you. You always told me,
a lot
yeah.
of them. She had so many more years as far as experience and energy. She just she took advantage of it.
My goodness. That's good stuff though. But going back to what you were saying,
Yes.
you know, when we think about people who are born into and I'm only laughing based off of what we were just talking about, but when we think about people who are born into really tough circumstances
Yeah.
and situations, you made a note where you said you need to look for a softer place to land, I guess.
Here's what I think.
Mm,
I think when you look for opportunities,
there you go.
doors open,
Yeah, they do. It's
and you stop limiting your opportunities to one or two things. One of the things that I think happens in our lives is that our horizon becomes narrow,
yeah,
and we don't see beyond,
yeah,
a two-bedroom apartment,
yes,
house, or or government check, or
yeah.
what we don't see beyond that. So the individual who makes the decision to leave the particular community they're living in, he or she living in, because it's not to their advantage, they have to broaden their vision. They might have to start communicating with people that they're not versed in communicating with. They may have to go talk to people that they're not used to talk to. They may have to change a behavior trait in order to fit into this new thing. The toughest thing for me going in the military is I went to bed when they told me to go to bed. And I woke up when they told me to wake up. And all my life, I go to bed when I want to. From the time I lived with my grandmother, since I was 7, 8 years old, I go to bed when I want to, and I wake up when I have to in school, of course, all things being equal. So all of a sudden, this is a change. And I got people yelling at me. I got men yelling at me. You know how I feel about people raising their voice at me. So I got this whole thing. So this whole change of environment is causing me to transition my mindset. That's why the environment is so important. I don't think I could have done what I've done had I stayed in South Carolina. And not that South Carolina is bad. The place you're coming from is not bad. That's home. But it was not the place that I could launch from.
Yes,
I
sir.
could land there, but I couldn't launch from that place. And you need to find some kind of way to launch your life into what you want it to be instead of living in what they left you with.
That's excellent.
Yeah. And it's just it's face it, you gotta look at it. I mean, I think most of us live our lives not really looking at ours.
Yeah.
We're always looking at others and how they have treated our lives. And then basing our lives off of what they didn't do. Why they didn't do this, why they didn't do this, why didn't, why, because they got their own set of problems. They got their own set of spiritual sins that have been passed on generational to generational to generational. Attitudes, dispositions, energy, all of that generational stuff. And until you say to yourself, this is not conducive to what I want to produce. Is this really? Do I want to be in a situation where I got to cuss my man out to get him? Do I really want to be in a situation where I have to beg my wife for affection? Is that really where I want? Do I really want to be in a way where my kids don't like me because of the way I partially punish them, and refusing as a man to go back and say I messed up. I didn't do you guys right. We can't fix what we broke in the past, but we can certainly repair what's present it was present in the present. And so I think it's just taking that accountability, taking that, relieving yourself of that debt. God will forgive you of your sins, but you got to pay your debts. I think people want forgiveness of debts and sins. You pay debts, sins get forgiven, but debts are the things that I owe to humanity. I owe to humanity to be a good father because that's what I'm purposed to do. You owe it to humanity to be a good mother. You owe it to humanity to be a loyal friend, to be a respectful child. You owe it to humanity to do that. And when that energy is abated, then your energy is abated and your ability to see beyond your present circumstances becomes a blinding situation. Here's what the scripture says. The scripture says that they're blind and cannot see afar off. Why? Because they've forgotten that they have been forgiven of their old sins and they stay attached to it. So,
I love it. I'm just thinking, I'm trying to collect these bullet points. We're talking about the enemy to progress. And so what I've been tracking is the first one is being a victim, being a perpetual victim. The second one is we talked about vision, right? And having a bigger vision for yourself beyond your current circumstance. So then I guess I would say an enemy to progress is having a lack of vision.
having a lack of vision.
A lack of vision. So then I'm thinking about the third bullet point.
So what are the symptoms of not having a lack of vision? How do I know? How does an individual know when they don't have vision?
I would think that you don't have any real plans. Like you don't have any plans for your life. There's a lackluster to your life because you're not purposed in what you're doing day in and day out. Boredom.
Just put it like this. I wouldn't say boredom. I say we're preoccupied with unproductive things. Because I know a lot of people that are busy, but they're busy with unproductive stuff. I'm tired, but you ain't done nothing all day long because your mind is dealing with unproductive stuff.
I got you. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And the thing about it is, I'm gonna let you finish. The thing about it is, they don't understand that they're unproductive because they produce unproduction. Most liars don't know they're liars. They just think they construe the truth differently.
Ain't that the ooh, sweet Jesus? Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Our mind is a powerful energy because it has the ability to contrive life in the way we can have the least amount of pain.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
depending on how long you've been indoctrinated, it doesn't matter if what you're doing is unfair. It doesn't matter if what you're doing is hurting other people. In your mind, you have convinced yourself that this is the place I want to be. Then you get hurt because of what you've done to people, and you cry about what you've done to people, but you keep doing it anyway over it. It's kind of like a guy who keeps having babies that don't take care of him.
Yes, sir.
I don't think every man who don't take care of their babies don't love their kids. I think every man loves their kids. They just was unable to be able to decipher what the contribution would need to provide for their kid. Why? Because they don't have no vision. I ain't never met a man or a woman who don't pay their child support, who have a vision.
That's real, Papa.
If you ain't got no vision, all you do is wander about with no aim. You go to work, but you ain't got no aim. You go to the gym, but you ain't got no aim. You want to get big muscles because your aim is all based upon what you can touch and what you can feel, not what you can transfer.
That's excellent.
I'm sorry, I went too long with long else.
Oh no, that nice. I mean, that was great.
Yeah.
So bullet point 2 was lack of vision, and then you expounded on that. Is there a third hinder of purpose that you can think of?
You know, I think one of the things, and there's a scripture that says, forgetting those
Mm,
things that are behind. I've had to arrange my forgetting. I had to put order to the things I forgot. Because if I don't put order to them, they will try to come back to my memory through an avenue that I'm unwilling to close.
for certain, Daddy, but how do you put order?
Well, first of all, this is simple. Reject thoughts that don't lend you to where you want to be purposely be. I think that, you know what I
Speak.
think, Elike? I think that we think we are forced to think.
I think we think that we are forced to have certain feelings about things.
Right.
And we're not. We think that we're supposed to carry a thought all the way through to the end until maybe we don't think about it no more or until we feel something different. And a lot of times we never get there. We never get to a different feeling. We just end at anger or
Right.
disappointment or hurt or
Right.
frustration,
Right.
as
Right.
opposed to, like you said, stopping the thought.
Yeah.
Take no thought.
Well, see, I think what it is, I think we want to, like, for example, we talk about forgiveness.
Mm,
We want the words for forgiveness to give us the feeling of forgiveness. If
yeah.
I say to you, forgive me, in my mind, in many people's mind, it's over. Once you say yes, it's over. I don't think about what was the reason that caused you to have to forgive me.
Yes, Papa.
And other people who are like you, who love me and have to forgive. What are the reasons behind that? Because I'm not willing to dig that deep. The reason I'm not willing to dig that deep, because the root of it is you're bitter. And when you're bitter, it's hard to see better.
It
And
shows.
vision is better. Vision is better. You can't get better if the root is bitter.
To see better, you have to have vision. Yeah.
Got to.
Yeah. But you were saying people don't like to dig that deep. We don't like to dig deep.
Well, yeah. I think we like. Unfortunately, the way we have learned Christ
Mm.
has not necessarily been the most medicinal
Mm-hmm.
for our culture.
Mm-hmm.
And because we've learned to abate emotions for finances, not deal with situations when there's money to throw on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
because we have been a community, a culture who has always been in lack.
Yes, sir.
So we many times we sacrifice character for comfort.
Yeah, because Daddy, and I hope I want me segueing into this won't make
Yeah,
your train of thought. But
right.
when you were going like this, you said we've always been in lack. And I'm thinking we are so richly wealthy with character, but we will, our people have sacrificed their character for material wealth. And it's heartbreaking.
Mhm.
I mean, and I say that understanding why. I say that understanding the history of this country, but it's no less heartbreaking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then we have that's the tough part. The tough part is that the enemy don't live outside of our house, so there's no rest for people who were brought over in chains. And I deal with our situations not by psychiatrists or anything psychological. I deal with our situation, understanding where our community comes from
Yeah.
and where we have been through.
Yeah.
You know, the vast majority of us don't have dads in our lives.
Mhm.
The vast majority of us are absentee dads, or we're in prison, or we're in jail, or we've got there's so many things that are going on,
Yeah.
and there's so many dreams that the media sells us.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
was watching a program, and this is a side note. I was doing something today and doing some studying, and 15 billionaires, African American billionaires here in America. 15, just 15?
Just 15.
50, for 45 million people, we got 15. Now that's supposed to, I'm thankful for those. Many of them made their bones in the music industry
Wow.
and entertainment or athletics or whatever. And then you had some other businessmen and all that. The richest man is a African from the African continent. And I thought it was very interesting is that I would like to compare that to how many billionaires of other nationalities, and then
Hmm.
compare how the wealth was obtained. And I don't really want to care about where you are. Just show me where you started. And that way we can compare our progress by where we started. Now, if you tell me you started here with $1 million inheritance, with land and property that was given to your ancestors generations ago, Homestead Act 1862, move west of the Mississippi, we'll give you 162 acres of land, free
Yep.
and clear. The only thing you have to do is build a house on it and live on the property and cultivate the property.
Yep.
1863, Emancipation Proclamation. Immediately after the Emancipation Proclamation, 40 acres and a mule.
Where is that?
If you'd have gave me the 40 when you was giving out the 60,
Wow.
the ingenuity and the understanding that we have being made in his image, his son resembling our complexion, what would we do? The computer is here because of us. The drone is here because
What
of
would we
us.
have been able?
Refrigeration is here because
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
Everything that exists in this society that they call technology, that was the result of people of that particular,
Yes, sir.
has been stolen and robbed from our ingenuity. But here's the thing about it. They can rob the stuff, but they can't rob what's in here.
The character, the influence.
And you can believe me this, and I don't know who's gonna listen to me, this stuff is gonna turn around. And the people here gonna see it. Because he's gonna establish his government. That's why what we see now is so enriching to me.
Yeah.
Let it burn, let it burn.
Let it burn.
Let it burn.
Let it burn.
Every European, Eurocentric situation, let it die at the foot of Christ. Anyway, I don't know how we got it. You done start making me preach.
Well, I'm gonna remember how we got there. I was asking you for a third bullet point
I
of
think we got a vision.
progress.
Vision.
Well, a
See,
lack of vision was number two, but number three, when I asked you about the bullet point, you were talking about forgetting those things that are behind us.
there we go. Here we go.
That's how you got on that
You
track.
have to organize your forgetting. Unless you forget, you forgot it.
So disorganized forgetting.
Right. So in other words, what I'm saying is there are times that feelings come from something that I have forgiven and forgotten. If I play that screen over in my mind, I'm going to have the same results that my mind had when I happened to.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is, nope, I erase it. How do I erase it? I preoccupy my mind. I go wipe up my car. I'll go mow the lawn. I'll go play softball. That's not maybe your thing out there, but you got to find something to distract you from what is distracting. And most of them say, well, I'm going to pray and see. That don't work for me.
Right.
The best way for me to see God is to see people.
So I think what I hear you saying is an enemy to progress is an idle mind. Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. The mind that has no preoccupation with better. It has a preoccupation with what makes me better.
Stirring in that.
That you have to live
preoccupation.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And you'll be amazed at how many people you'll find that get in the pot with you.
Well, misery loves company.
Yes, what Apostle Clifford Turner said.
It's the truth.
My man, he said, misery loves company. That's why miserable people like to talk about miserable things, about miserable people and miserable situations. And before you leave, you will have the energy of miserable.
That's why people sit up and gossip and backbite and have people for dinner and breakfast, lunch and brunch. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
This has been good, Daddy. I like it.
I think what you have to do, and this is something I've said before, and then we'll close with this. We'll let you finish. We have to be careful what we're impressed by.
Ooh-wee. That needs to be checked, Daddy. The things that impress us. Examined. Like, why am I impressed by this? Am I impressed by this because whatever this is, I believe it's for my highest good, my highest living, my highest thought, my highest thinking, my highest processing? Or am I impressed by this because I think other people would like it?
We want
to make me popular.
We want extraordinary lives with basic thinking. The base thinking for a woman is to find a man with money.
That's out.
The highest thinking of a woman is find a man with integrity who knows how to handle his money.
Rewind. Can you say that one more time for the people in the back?
Basic-minded women are looking for men who got a lot of money. First of all, if he got a lot of money, you're not necessary.
If the only thing he has is a lot of money, which is relative.
In most cases, unless it is divinely ordered, in most cases, if you marry a man with money and that is your intent, I'm not talking about his, that is your intent, first of all, you sold out.
Period.
So don't try to get out because you knew what you were getting.
Come on, don't try to get
a man with money. You better find a way to make yourself necessary. And sex ain't necessary for a man who got money because he can get it anywhere.
He can buy it.
So that's why when you envision your relationship, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
And instead of looking for a man that's got money, find a man that know how to handle his money.
It was how you phrased it the first time around. You said a base mentality for a woman looking for a man is simply a man with money.
There you go.
But a woman with higher thinking will be looking for a man that can provide, but also a man of integrity.
Yeah. No. I'm going back to what I said because this is important. And I agree with what you're saying because that all springs from handling and being a good steward. I very rarely find men that are good stewards of money and not good stewards of relationships.
Well, yeah.
And I'm speaking to ladies, I'm speaking to gentlemen.
Yes.
Relationship is about negotiation. You're bargaining chips.
Yes. Now,
You
Daddy,
gotta,
I don't want to get off topic because
yeah, let's stay on
we,
topic, Lick.
we, we,
You always going off on doing
well,
this.
the focus
Oh,
was
I'm sorry.
idle minds. We were talking about idle minds. I'm sorry.
Arranging how you forget.
Yes.
You're going to, yeah, okay, right, right. That's part of it if your mind is idle. And just recognizing when a forgetful memory is trying to become a current thought.
Yeah.
A memory don't have to be a thought. There's a lot of things I remember, but I don't think about it.
Right.
But then that memory comes and it lodges itself in my character, in my thought, in my disposition. Then it becomes a drainer of my energy, and it becomes a way for me to reattach myself to something I've long been free from.
Hmm. Is that possible that though, Daddy, if you are in fact detached from it, can you get reattached to it?
Yes, very much so.
How does
Very,
that happen?
if a current situation reminds you of that, and you have truly not gone through the process of forgetting, it comes back to replace. What you don't defeat, you're destined to repeat. And when I say that happens to you, uh, there's always going to be an opportunity for me to remember my pain.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How much attachment I give to that pain really determines how much of my healer in my present and how much of that pain I've really. I can think of pain and hurts in my life, Elika, that if I would have hear the name or see something similar to that,
Mhm.
it would take me back.
If you let it, because yes, because you earlier we were talking about thinking a thought all the way through or stopping a thought.
Mhm.
Is that what you're speaking to? Like,
Well, yes, yes, I will say yes for the sake of time, but I also will say at that is a lot of times when I let it run itself out, it's because something currently is happening that reminds me of it.
yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So relegating or regulating that thought, stopping that thought, turning that thought around, that's about it's the
Yeah.
simplistic. I don't want to give, I
Yeah.
don't want the answer to sound so simple that you don't understand the process of renewing your mind. That's in essence what I'm saying.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And renewing your mind is getting a bigger thought than the harassing thought. When I think of my loss of my mother, I
Uh-huh.
think of the gain of my grandkids because
Mm.
it could have been me. You
That's
understand?
good, Papa.
When I think of what may not have been with my dad, I think of the kind of dad that I've been to y'all.
Yeah.
It's thoughts triggered by present energy that empowers you. You don't forget, you overpower with forgiveness.
I
Yeah.
like that because I feel like in wrapping this conversation up, we've given the people something to hold on to.
Yes.
Not only did we give the bullet points, but we also gave a sense of remedy.
Yeah.
And so essentially what you're saying, and I'm thinking my wheels are turning because I'm thinking about how I do that in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how to overcome an enemy to progress is to focus on what is that's positive as opposed to what
Since you've been a mother, I've watched you do it over and
over
over.
and over again. Yeah.
It's your process. And the more you do it, now it's just your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's so natural for me because I'll tell you what I understood um in raising my daughter and being a single mom and understanding that she and her dad and I were not going to be able to be in a committed relationship where we were able to get married and raise her together in that way. We raised her together as co-parents. I understood that if I don't focus on the positive, what I feel is negative about my situation will become my focus, and that will bleed over into my relationship with my daughter and her relationship with her dad, right? So for me, I mean, just the alternative in it being a very negative and not great situation was just not an option. Like I don't want it to be strained. I don't want it to be negative. I don't want it to be not good for my baby. So, yeah, let's think on the good things. Let's think about the things that I love that he does, or how he shows up for her, or just the positive things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. But you know, I think my story helps all of you.
It does, Papa.
My story. See, that's why I think parents should be a little bit more transparent with their kids
A little bit, all the way transparent.
and stop being so afraid of respect, of not having respect, or ruining their religious view of you, because that's certainly what it is. It's not a spiritual view of you. You know, it's a religious view of you. And this idea that I have to sanitize my past in order to secure you guys a positive future. No, you needed to understand the struggle.
Yeah, I learned more from the struggle stories than I learned from the pristine, whatever I thought might have been great about. I think it's great that you were an athlete in high school. I think it's great that you had some popularity and you were a
Mhm.
fun guy and a lot of girls wanted to date you and all the
Right.
three good things. But it was the stories about your struggles as a teen, your struggles as a young man, your struggles as a young man without his father that's trying to find himself and find his identity amongst the men that are in his. It was those stories that really taught me, that I learned from, so
And
yeah,
I
that's
think
vitally important.
more than anything with my kids, I wanted to pass on two things as a father is forgiveness and patience.
You did, Papa.
And just learning that life, to me, life is like a photograph developed in a dark room. The image that you are in the dark
Mm,
does not appear until light hits.
mm.
The darkest part of your life will not become truly, you won't truly understand it until you apply light. His word is a light and a lamp to your pathway. So if I can apply light to my unforgiveness, then I can see it more clearly, and then I can move on. And I can see,
Add light to my unforgiveness, Dad.
right. And
How,
what's my
how do I do that?
forgive others because you want him to forgive you. That's always been my thing. I've never thought that I was forgiven because I asked God. I always knew that I forgiven because I forgave the woman that killed my mom. I forgave this. I forgave that. And it's purposeful forgiveness. It's not emotional forgiveness because there is no emotion to it. It's just a concrete decision made by someone who's been given a free will to make that said decision. These are human decisions with all of the emotions that come from the negative and all the emotions from the positive. We hope that you will let the positive win.
Excellent.
Okay?
Well, on that note, I think it's been fabulous. It's been a
Uh,
good time. We hope that you got something out of this.
yes.
You okay, Papa?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
We enjoy being in your space and in your place.
Yeah.
And hey, keep on checking in and checking out with us. We love you having you with us. Thank you so much for being with us on tonight. Papa, you have anything else you want to say?
Hey guys, go in peace. Do me a favor.
I love going peace.
Look out for the people in your community.
Yeah.
Whoever's next to you that may be going through some things, you don't even know what they're going through. You might be able to bless them. Just look out for your people. Look out for us. All right.
I love that. Look out for the people in your community. Love, be loved, and let love. In the meantime and between time, take care of yourself and
Your neighbor.
your neighbor. I love you,
Love
Daddy.
you guys. Love you too, boo.
Mwah. Love you.
God bless, guys. Bye bye.